And welcome back to the Static Crypto Show. I'm your host, Blue Hawk Legend, and today we're going to be talking about an interview I decoded with Ryan Fugger, the original founder of Ripple. Now, this is done back in 2006 on Skype, so the quality was very poor, but I cleaned it up the best I could. And this is the only interview anybody's ever found that he's done. Okay? You guys can do this also very easily. The way I did it was I went on a Google Play Store. You download the Wave Editor app and the Denoise app. It's that simple. Now, this is not AI. For those of you that are new, backwards audio, backmasking, reverse speech is just playing audio speeches of whoever you want backwards. And it reveals hidden messages nobody knew was there before. Now, this is the holy grail of backwards audio. This video is probably one of the biggest I'll ever do. And again, this is not AI. I'm not mixing this up in any way. I'm just cutting out the gibberish. I'm not mixing up the words to be in a certain order or anything. I'm giving you what it is right there. I'm just cutting out what there's nothing really in these audios. So in 2016, these intelligence agencies released David Oates' file that they had on him about reverse speech, which is, again, another confirmation, saying they know it, they know about this stuff, and they actually attacked him over this. So I guarantee they're using this today. One of the videos you can go to is called The Y Files. That's the YouTube channel. The Y Files, and type in reverse speech, okay? He has 2 videos that'll give you all the evidence that this works. You doing it yourself will give you even more evidence and confirmation that, yeah, this is real. I can't say that this is what they really think, but it could be what they really think. Okay? It could be what they really think. It's more than likely coming from their subconscious, and that's a whole other discussion. But again, this is not AI. You guys can do this yourself. I'm not making this up. One of the other confirmations, in the very first video I did with Brad Garlinghouse and Monica Long, they were in the same interview. In there, she said in the backwards audio, he riddles, talking about Brad Garlinghouse. Now, if you go back years ago when he was in Silicon Valley, he had a whiteboard up there, and it had a phoenix up there. And if I remember correctly, it had a bear also. Okay? That's a confirmation right there. Let alone every other video. If you watch the video, I'm not going to go into all of them, but there's many confirmations in there. So if you guys go to each one of my videos, you'll see the confirmations we did in the past, and you can do it yourself. Like I said, take snapshots and you'll see proof. You can do these audios yourself, but it takes me a while to do these also, because I have to put in the words individually on each one. There's no caption, or AI can barely pick it up as it is. And, I try to do a thumbnail, same thing. I have to do it 20 times before it gets it right. But after this, I'm going to do the Adam Beck video. And in there, wow, like I found some amazing things. You guys are going to like, your mind's going to be blown when you see that. But without any further ado, let's get straight into the video.
It never really quite works how we think. I got involved in thinking about these kind of things, and kind of at the same time I got involved with the group in Vancouver called the Work Less Party, who were interested in kind of social change and more community-oriented kind of economics and politics. And so we kind of both came up with the idea at the same time, the Work Less Party coordinator, Conrad Schmidt, and I, to develop a community currency for Vancouver. And we played with certain models. We looked at let systems, and nothing seemed to quite fit, and over the period of several months, I thought about it, and then, one day I was riding a bus, and it kind of struck me that this Ripple model, this kind of decentralized system where people vouch for each other's value, would be workable. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that that's exactly what banks do today. That's exactly how it already works. The project took on a life of its own and moved well beyond a community currency for Vancouver into what I think is kind of the future of payment systems. It's a kind of a completely generic model that encompasses all the ways that currencies could be done in the past, and allows them to all be connected into one global network.
You mentioned the LED system. How is Ripple different from other electronic currencies?
Same way, you trust the LED system and you have a count of the path that payment's going to take. That's happened.
And welcome back. So we are going to go over these words real quick, which were very interesting. And again, if you guys want to take a snapshot, I'm going to put them up here on screen so you can follow along in the regular forwards interview. And the average was right around like 8 seconds apart on the forward interview. I had to slow it down by about 70%. So it sounds like it's fast, but it's really not. I had to slow it down a lot because they were talking so fast and the words are coming up. But right off the bat, he said in the backwards audio, it'll be wrecked. Okay, right after that, because I'm skipping a few words here, the ones I didn't put in. Money, Elon Musk, back to back twice, Elon Musk, get that money. Lie, the asset lie, which means he told a lie right there, back to back. So lie, the asset lie. Invest, lie, it'll be. Lie, alliance, demonic. You heard that right there in the backwards audio. Now, again, what's interesting here is we have Elon Musk back to back. Now, I don't think, if I remember correctly, the PayPal Mafia, that was back around like 2008, 2009-ish. This is in 2006. So, again, it's very interesting. His name is popping up here back to back. He may have had these, secret meeting or something like that. Just like he, coincidentally met with Jed McCaleb and Chris Larson and them, and they teamed up in this, triumvirate to make Ripple. So it's very interesting to actually form the company Ripple, get it funded, all that stuff. So it's very interesting. We're hearing his name right here. He says invest, okay? The asset, lie, invest, okay? Lie, it'll be lie, alliance, demonic. That's mind-blowing, what we're finding in here. Now, going back to a little bit of this, okay? He was in the Work Less Party. That was in Vancouver, Canada, and they wanted to break down hours a week, all that stuff. What's interesting is their emblem. Their emblem is a red ticking clock. We've seen that and heard that a lot from the Riddlers, from Mr. Poole, from BG123, We heard that TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. It's not just about the social media app, okay? We've seen that in the gematria decos too, where you've seen TikTok. It's also meaning time is clicking away. TikTok, 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 okay? The price is going to get higher. Some big announcements are going to be made. That's pretty much that. That's very interesting regardless. It's a red ticking clock. We're going to go into a few other things here too. Now, he joined, I believe, the Workless Party was founded in 2002 or 2003. In 2005, okay, they won 1,642 votes. 1 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 equals 13. In 2009, okay, they nominated two candidates, for a combined total vote of 322 in 2009. That's actually primarily the skull and bones number right there, but it's Illuminati, really anybody could use it. 322, okay? Just like 911, 13, 313, all these numbers, okay? It's very interesting that this popped up right around the same time. In 2009, as you know, was the housing collapse, and 2005 was the year before he did this interview, okay? It's just very interesting these numbers are popping up. We're going to make a few other correlations later. But, going over this, okay? He said in the Forwards interview that he rode a bus, okay? And thought of the Ripple model, and he knew it will work because that's how banks work. Now, I'm sure a few of you heard this before. But who else did that? Albert Einstein. He rode a bus, and all of a sudden, boom, theory of relativity came up. This guy rode a bus, and boom, the Ripple model. And he just happens to be a descendant from one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest family to have ever lived. And trust me right now, that wealth just doesn't disappear overnight. It does not. I think that they took their assets. They may have lost a little bit of power, but I think they've been secretly making plays in the background. It's probably one of these families that you never hear about, but I have a feeling, because back in the day, he was worth, I believe, the equivalent of $400 billion, okay? That's a shitload of money. Now, today, they probably took that money, and they're probably one of these unheard trillionaire families that we never found out about, and they're just secretly making moves in the background. There are trillionaires already out there. I don't care what Elon Musk says. I don't care what any of these guys say. Oh, no, he's going to be the first. No, he is not the first trillionaire. The real money, nobody knows their names, okay? Trust me on this. Continuing on here, he says, it's a generic model that encompasses all currency. It'll allow all of them to be connected into one global network. Now, what have they been leading us up to? One world government, one world army, one world healthcare, one world currency, one world everything. He just told you right there. Not only that's how banks, that's how they do it, but it's going to encompass all currencies, and right here, word for word, it'll allow all of them to be connected into one global network. Now, how I think this is going to work is just like you've seen Cornium and Sologenic, okay? I think they're going to take them, and blockchain by blockchain, they're going to merge them one by one. And they're all going to become interoperable with each other, just like quantum computing. I think that's going to be a huge step, and I honestly think that that's going to start this process really en masse. It's going to really speed up the whole process. But going back to this Einstein thing on the bus, okay? Think about what he just said. Where else have we seen something like that? We've seen it on 24 Hours Crypto, right? He has shown the Isaac Newton wallets, which I have a feeling that he may own. I think Ryan Fugger, may own a few of those. Maybe Peter Thiel owns a few also, but Elon Musk, Thiel, and you're not going to tell me that this guy just gave up the greatest asset on the planet if he knew that he was partnering up with Jed, Brad, Thiel, Schwartz, all these guys, and they already had this pre-planned. You're not going to tell me he's going to sit there and just throw away tens of millions, maybe even billions of XRP. Highly doubt that. Apparently, his net worth is possibly $100 million. But why would you have that when you could be a billionaire? Apparently, what he's working on now is a social credit system, kind of like a peer-to-peer credit system where you can give credit to each other. That's the whole social credit system, kind of like the China thing. Could he be working on something a little different that it actually is for like peer-to-peer credit? Apparently that's what he's still working on. And there's something we'll go into a little later that he invested into, and I believe it closed now, which is a little interesting when I typed it in Gematria. But continuing on with the words here, the X, it'll be soon. That's another one that's really huge, okay? We just found that in the backwards audio. Cost money, initiate all I need, enough money. That is pretty massive, guys. So that I'm just blown away at all this every time. Continuing on with what Ryan said here. Now I have a few words X'd out, okay, from what Ryan said. All I need, I love you summer, it'll be, suck it, listen to me, that's how. Then the audio speeds up. We invest, lie, LOL, lie, money, money. Slow down, he was demonic, never end it. Money, lie, this time, asset, was the opposite. It will be funny, buy silver. You heard that right at the end of that, okay? That was right before this started, this little section started. You heard buy silver. I'm not making this up. You can go check for yourself. Now, I cut out about, I'd say probably 3 to 4 minutes total of things that I just didn't think that were that interesting. This is very interesting right here, though. But we're going to continue on with this video, and we're going to play the last little part, which is about, I'd say, 3 to 4 minutes long. So, I understand it's a little long, but it's, trust me, it is worth it, and the words we're finding here are amazing. We're also going to go into the family history a little more, and a few other little BG123 riddle connections with what I found also. So, stay tuned, and here we go, guys.
open surf. Keşif Nico, and then I remix the myth of the game, but no over. The myth will shine in this fake app, or that's long shiners in earth, making app, or that's earth, making app, earth, so I goes, yeah, this girl's in me. Oh, making it sequels. Wendy Smith, yeah, should run earth in me. Well, tip, with lock or for this, shout.
And welcome back. So, we are going to go over these words real quick. I'm going to flip through some notes. If you guys want to, I'm going to put the words up here on the screen so you can snapshot them and follow through on the normal forwards audio. You can go back and listen to it and find it. But all the words are going to be there. And again, they're around like average around like 7-8 seconds apart, so you can keep up with the conversation. Yeah. So, what's interesting? And we're going to start off here again. I know I say it's interesting a lot, but I love using that word. It's a great word. So, what we left off here was, he said buy silver. I'm going to flip back to the page because I'm one page ahead. After he said buy silver, the interviewer said they invest. So, buy silver, they invest. Okay? Ryan said in the backwards audio, get up EVM. He said get up, then EVM right after. Yeah. This is it. Elon Musk, I need money. Then he said, Suey, lie. That is huge right there in those past few words, okay? They invest, get up EVM. The interviewer said they invest. Get up EVM, yeah, this is it. Elon Musk, I need money. We have Ryan Fugger. Now think about this. Ryan Fugger came on here on 2006 with Bazooka Joe, some random podcaster in 2006. And apparently Ripple was started. There's some kind of patent, if I remember correctly. If I find it, I'll show up here on the screen. I believe it was in 1991 where they found this patent. Ripple was started way before. Even it may have been 1994 or 1991. I got a little bit of this. Regardless, it was in the 90s, okay? So he's doing this 2006 and making it seem like, oh, I just thought of this great idea out of nowhere. I was on a bus and when I was at the workless party and I was doing this and that. No. This is long in the making, okay? And again, it's just very interesting these things are popping up. Continuing on here, it'll be Suey. I'm not making this up. You can see for yourself. It'll be Suey. We're hearing Suey a lot in each one of these guys. Lie, it'll be money. Suey, then the offer. We've heard that, I believe, from Marshall also. It'll be their asset. It'll be money. Invest. Suey. Money. What I didn't put in there was Elon Musk. Never. Suey, says twice back to back. Suey, internet, listen to me. Reddit, I wasn't too sure if he said Reddit or not, but I put a question mark right there. Money, hurry, money, the money. But I love it. That's how the money. Suey, again. Elon Musk, money, buy it up. What I didn't put in there. Listen to me. Elon Musk, money, lie, initiate, bubble. Money, he was, initiate, buy, Suey. I'm not making any of this up. I swear to God, I'm not. Go check for yourself. I told you how already. So we have Suey 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe 8 times already. If I was counting the 1 or 2, and yes, I believe it's 8 or 9 times already. Continuing on, hit the last little bit. Initiate. It was initiate. Initiate. Internet is an asshole. Not is an asset. Is an asshole. An exit. Lie. Bought the asset. Wasn't too sure if he said bought the asset. Right after he said that, Elon Musk. Initiate the asset alliance. Listen to me. It's now over. It'll shine. Shine is an asset. Listen to me. We've heard it'll shine from quite a few people. I think from just about Brad, I believe, Brian Armstrong, Marshall Hayner. I think we just about heard it from everybody. I think we even heard it from Larry Fink in the 1 or 2 interviews we did of him. And again, all these, I'm just blown away. And these are my real notes, guys. I've got like pages of these. So all this is like, yeah. So, going back over these real quick, obviously the get up EVM, and again, just like I told you guys, I think EVM is going to be huge. Don't take EVM or Ethereum lightly. Don't think it's just going to collapse with Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to be true. We have Sui popped up again 8 or 9 times. We have that popping up in every single audio. And again, I bought some Sui. I put a few thousand into it if you guys want to. But it's just, again, we just have Sui. Elon Musk. So, to me, this is definitive proof that he was there before the magic happened, so to speak. They knew each other, but I'm not going to say that for sure 100%. So, now we're going to go on to the very interesting stuff. Alright, I'm going to put some pictures up here, and you guys are going to like this. I think you're going to love it. So, one of the very first pictures right here, this is in the mausoleum, the Fugger mausoleum. I believe it's called the Fugger. It's this whole area, okay? We'll go into, and I'll show you that from the bird's eye view, but it's this whole area that Jacob Fugger bought back in, I believe it was like 1500s. It's basically a bunch of row houses, if you want to think of it as that, okay? And it kind of looks like a key from above. But this mausoleum picture right here, it looks like 3 people and a 4th behind what looks like Jesus. Looks like they're trying to help Jesus walk. Below that, it looks like a lily and or a flower, okay? It's got 6 petals on the outside. Now, pay attention to this, okay? I'm going to focus in right here. Not only does this look like those white petals could possibly be proton, but look on the inside. 1, 2, 3. Dark red. Then it's the spotty red with a little bit of white spots. 1, 2, 3. That is Ripple. That is the Ripple symbol. Okay, I don't know if anybody else picked this up. I haven't watched many Ryan Fugger decode videos or anything, but that's amazing. Okay? It's right there in the mausoleum. I'm not making this shit up. The next one. Now, I think this is one of the, or all 3 of the Fuggers. I don't know what family members this is. But there's an old man with a gold shield. There's 2 women on the bottom. One with a pink shield, one with a green shield. The one with the gold shield, that looks like one of the blockchains that Vitalik Buterin worked on. I believe it was on prime numbers. I can't remember the ticker symbol exactly for it. But that looks exactly like that if I remember correctly. These other 2 on the bottom, I don't know exactly what they are. So if you guys have seen those symbols before or similar, the one on the green one kind of looks like an anchor. But you just got to take out that Z that's in the middle that's going across sideways. That definitely looks like an anchor. You could say the one on the side looks like a double anchor. But again, if you guys see these anywhere, again, you could say the pink one's web off too. You could say that. But I'm not, I'm not trying to go too far into this, but we got gold, pink, and green. So if you guys just keep an eye out for that shield. And we got a few other good, great pictures here. This one is Jacob Fugger and I believe his wife, okay? Now that gold and blue lily on the shield right there, that's the lily. That's what they call the lily, the flowering lily. It kind of looks like the Saint symbol from the football team with the blue and gold background. His wife has the black and gold one, which I've never heard of this one before in the research, but a red phoenix. And those red twines going up there in the middle, those red ropes right there, that usually means like DNA. You'll see the same thing in hospitals where they have 2 snakes going up in the middle and they're twisting like that. That usually means DNA. I'm sure if you guys looked a lot into these conspiracy videos, ancient alien stuff like that, you also know the pine cone. If you see anything that looks like a pine cone or a flower that hasn't bloomed yet, that's also could be the pineal gland in the brain. But the pine cone is, they've already figured that out, is the pineal gland. That's usually talking about the DNA. So, continuing on here. This right here is a church. It's the sermon. It's also part of the Fugger, I believe they call it. And there's 2 angels on the side of it. And there's very, very interesting things. Now, I couldn't get a very good close-up picture of this. But if you guys find one, let me know to where, there's basically you can zoom in on all this stuff and I'll take a look at it. There's another picture right here with, for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on in this town of Augsburg and the Fugger. But this church right here, I believe they call it St. Anne's. They've decided, I don't think it was some kind of festival, some kind of Harry Potter thing going on. I don't know, man. But they decided to hang a bunch of glass bubbles, I suppose, from 500-600-year-old ceilings. That's fucking stupid. Personally, from what we see now, a lot of this stuff is symbols. So, could that mean that a bunch of bubbles are about to pop? Very well could be. That's how these people work. Especially in the wealthiest man ever who ever lived, his home complex, his estate. This one right here is another building that I believe it's a museum, but it's around that same area. If not, they own it. I don't know which building it is, but it's got the double phoenix right there. Double-headed phoenix. It's all black with the gold background. Next to that is, I believe, a church, and there's a clock right there, a black clock, okay? You can see that right in the clock tower right to the left. Right here is in the same little town of the Fugger, okay? This looks like a watchmaker, and look what the time is at. It's pointed at 10 and 2. Where did we see that when I showed you about 5-10 minutes earlier? On the Workless Party, that was their symbol. It was at 10 and 2. 10 being X, 2 is also 10 minutes, which is X, X, X. I'm not making this up. There's another little clock. If you look right down about 10 feet down from that on the picture, it looks like another like grandfather clock. But that's on that little picture right there. And there's another clock tower behind that one. So it's very interesting, all these coincidences that just so happen to be right in the Fugger. I found also these letters in there, these letter F's, obviously, for Fugger. There's blue ones, there's orange ones, I think there was a yellow one. I've yet to find a red one or a green one, if you guys, because there's like thousands of pictures, so if you guys find a few that match all of them, that match like all the colors of the rainbow, let me know. That's very, very interesting. I love to have that. This next one is this lady standing up, okay? And again, I've looked at these pictures, and this is me zoomed into it. For whatever reason, she is holding 2 flowers that look like lilies, okay? She's wearing a big-ass pink dress, and she's standing on 2 green stilts. Again, very interesting. Green stilts. No, she's holding the flowers. Green candle, maybe, for Ripple, possibly, for XRP, maybe even for Proton. Very well. Could be. Because there was no festivals, there were no balloon people. If you go look at that original picture, you just type in Fugger or Fugger, which is Fuggerei, I believe it is, Fugger. Just type in Fugger's family Augsburg, and it'll all pop up. You'll see, just type in Fugger family pics, and you'll see all these pictures. Again, it's very interesting. I didn't see the festivals around here. There's like 2 people to the left of her, but that was it. They're like walking by going, what the fuck? Like looking at her. There wasn't like any festival around. And I'll show you another picture that gets me to believe they're setting this up. This one right here is a carousel, and we all know about the carousel BG123. Zoom in on this shit, okay? Take your time with this, because I did, and it's very interesting. We got a little gnome guy right here with a seahorse, a caterpillar. Looks like a little carriage, possibly. And there's some horses right there. Maybe even a dog merry-go-round character that you can sit on also. Now, if you look up top, it looks like flowers right there. Maybe grapes on top of the flowers. I can't really see because the picture quality was so poor. But again, we're seeing the carousel. There's not one goddamn kid on this fucking thing. Not one. There's like one person sitting in the background. So again, there's like, you can go look at the picture yourself. There's no people, there's no balloons, there's no clowns around or nothing like that. There's just a carousel, and they took a picture, just like the lady standing up with the flowers. It's weird. So again, yes, I am making connections to BG123 because they're here. Okay? This is not me making this shit up. This is also in one of the Fugger buildings. Again, the pineal gland, remember I was telling you that? You see a pine cone, look at the bottom. Right at the bottom of this post. That's supposed to be the pineal gland. But there's this gold post that spins up. Look what's around it. That's grapes. Right there. The BG123 grapes. You can say it's berries, but it's not. It's grapes. Trust me. There's too many coincidences going on now for them to be a coincidence. Right here. This is on the very top of the Fugger Mausoleum. This is their family crest. And they have 4 angels. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 4-sided, looks like star. And what's interesting, again, we have all the colors right here except for purple. That's the only one I really don't see. I'm not going to say pink or anything, but we really don't have purple, which is the one that would match all this up. We got a green and red winged angel baby. We got a green one, a green winged angel on the right. In the bottom right, we have a red one. And on the bottom left, we have red and gold, it looks like. So, again, it's just, these pictures are very weird. But, if you pay attention, go down. Look at the bottom left and the bottom right. There are two knights there. You can't make this shit up, guys. And it's, again, it's just wild. If you zoom in these pictures, I wish we had a better high quality picture. It's the best I can get. So, we have a little, it looks like, what do they call that? An organ right there, a piano organ, and the sun right there. And if you zoom out, if you go to the original picture, you can see it looks just like the Masonic garb that they always wear. It looks exactly like that. Right here, and this is another doorway to one of the, I believe one of the apartments of the museum where Jacob used to live. There's a heart right there, right in the side of the door. That is a heart. You can see where it curves right on top. I'm not making this up. They could have made that any goddamn shape they wanted to. That's a fucking heart. Excuse my language. And to prove another point with the numerology and how they're into this numbers, right? It says right here, the Fugger family mausoleum, formerly known as Fugger Chapel, is located inside St. Anne's Church in Augsburg, Germany. It was built blah 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 blah. Key highlights: the location, St. Anne's Church, blah 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 blah, located at Annastrabe 13. Again with the 13. And this is the zip code, 86150, Augsburg, Germany. There's that number again, 13. I'm not making any of this up, guys. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And coincidentally, it contains the three brothers, Jacob, George, and Ulrich. So, again, it's just very interesting what we're finding here. This right here, I can't read his name too well, but it says Fugger right there. It looks like Eon Fugger. But what's in his hand? A little red block, it looks like. But if you look a little to the right of that, his necklace, what is that? It looks like a lightning bolt. Now, Ryan Fugger has said quite a few times, I believe on his Twitter page also, he's talked about Bitcoin forking. And I could have swore, if I remember correctly, he talked about Bitcoin Lightning. Yeah, he has talked about Bitcoin Lightning before. So again, these things go back a very long time. This is not no coincidence, guys. Going on here, this is another family crest, this black and white one. If you pay attention right here, in the top left, there's an L there. I don't know what the hell that's for, what family member. I have no idea. The right is a 3. Probably the 3 brothers that I was talking about. Look on the flag. There is a castle right in the middle. There's a double-headed phoenix right to the left of that. To the right of that is the flowering lily. Some king, which looks coincidentally just like the king in BG123, except for he had a stupid little king hat on. Actually, that kind of looks like the Pope hat. You have, at the bottom, CV. Don't know what that stands for. And on the other woman's shirt, it says, looks like FU, probably for Fugger. There's another lady with the king's hat on. There's 3 hammers and the Jewish star right there. That is the Jewish star. You could also say that is the North Star. Very well could be. These guys love their symbols. Don't forget that. With 3 horns right there. You guys see that also. Now, I can't read German. It says Gant und Marla. I have no idea what that means. But paying attention to all these things, we got the castle, double-headed phoenix, the flowering lily. What looks like could be a king or a pope, which is probably the pope because they were in the Holy Roman Empire. But below that, we got 3 hammers, which you've seen the hammer before in BG123. We have 3 horns. Have no idea what that means. Probably one for each of the brothers. Maybe the same thing for the hammer too. But we have the Jewish star and or the North Star right there in the middle of this shield. I'm not making this shit up, guys. You can, like, look. It just goes way deeper than you think it does. We have the classic symbol right here. This is their gold and blue flowering lily shield. This is another one. This is the pine cone one I was talking about. And coincidentally, it looks like a monkey right below that. These guys love their animals with the little king's hat on there, okay? That is supposed to be the pineal gland. That is, okay? That's what they're talking about when they show that. This picture right here, it is, I can't read German, something Fugger. It's another Fugger. Regardless, it's another Fugger. You look below that, we got a lion with, looks like a anal beads coming out of his mouth. And looks like a compass and a flower. It's probably 2 flowers. But regardless, It looks like 2 flower lilies, okay? Not that much here other than the shield. We got 2 angels up top. Looks like a bunch of baskets of fruit. And that's about it. Nothing in his hand. I don't really see anything sticking out too much. The coin, everybody's seen the coin, the double-headed coin. This is the Fugger coin. They had this going around Germany and a few other places in Europe. I think all out Europe for how long was it? About 150 years, somewhere around there. They had this thing like circulating around. It was pretty wild. But again, we got the 3 horns, some queen that looks like holding something in her hand. We have a 5, it looks like a 5-star notch right there. Again, the flowering lily, I believe there's 2 of them. That says 1621 in the back of that, actually. Not 1600s, because, yeah. But anyway, right in the middle is that circle. And that looks coincidentally like the economics time. Remember that. They had that circle and it's crossed out on the economic times. Remember that? Currency reset. It looks eerily similar to that. Continuing on, here's another Fugger family crest. Their arms, their coat of arms, their family seal. Again, it's just another knight. But remember the BG123 riddles, okay? Don't just put anything past you. This right here, what I was talking about. You got the 2 flowering lilies, and this is in the mausoleum where the 3 brothers are at. You see that skull right on top? And their bones right below the skull. That's skull and bones, okay? That's how all this stuff originated from long, long ago, and they all branched off from each other. They'll tell you it started at one date, but really it started very, very long ago. Same thing, we got a skull on top of there. Going to the next picture. This is the entire mausoleum from one side. Now I tried to get many pictures, many angles from this. We got the flower and lily on the bottom, family crest on the floor also. And if you guys want to, you can just go there. You can go on the website and see all kinds of things on here. There's a lot of pictures here, and there's just a lot of detail. Here's the other crest I was talking about, the golden deer, okay, with the blue background. And he's on top of a knight, which, again, is weird as shit. These people with their animals is just very interesting. You go to look at these paintings, and there's just a lot of detail there, and it doesn't really make sense, but then again, it doesn't. So what's very interesting is when you type in, and again, going back to all this, going to Gematria, if you go to the Gematria calculator, you type in LUT system. That's a LUT system. That was Ryan Fugger, the Workless Party, all that. Type that in, and here are the words that pop up. Again, it's very intriguing that these words pop up. Now, Michael Linton, I believe his name was, who's the one who started the LUT system. And again, it's very interesting. This guy was a dentist. He did a lot of stuff. He was a truck driver also, so he did a lot of different things, man. This guy is very smart, and I believe he's a software engineer now, and he's still working on something. He's working on something called open money. Open coin, open money. Pretty interesting there. You guys might want to look into that a little more. Type in open money, enter the Gematria calculator. Here are the words that pop up. Again, this is how these guys work. They use the stars, numerology, they use planet alignments, all that stuff, symbology, they use geometry, all of this stuff. It's not foo-foo. These guys live their life by this. Type in something else, and right here, I thought it was very, very intriguing. Now, Ryan Fugger, I believe he was an angel investor in this company called Acquisition. I can't remember what it's called. But in there, it was called Script Book. Okay? Type in Script Book in Gematria. Again, this is not me making this up. He invested in this. The website is still up, but I believe the company closed down. But Bearable Guy comes up on that. Okay? Again, I'm not making any of this up. Bearable Guy shows up there. And a few other words also, which again, now, going back to all this, and I showed you guys Bazooka Joe. I'm pretty sure I showed you that one. If not, I'll put that up here again. The Bazooka Joe, that was the name of the guy who did the podcast. That showed up in Gematria. XRP ISO or ISO XRP, it shows up right there. I believe there's 1 or 2 other words in there also that are like, these guys do this shit on purpose. This is not some coincidence, guys. And again, it just keeps on coming over and over and over and over. It just keeps coming up again and again and again. So I just wanted to bring that up. And there's another interesting photo right here. And this is the bank, the Fugger Bank. I just call it the Fugger Bank. But look at the front door, okay? There's that double-sided phoenix right there. And look above the door, there's a big-ass X right there next to their coat of arms. There was another one where the double-sided eagle was over here. It was the same doors. I couldn't find the picture again, but it was the double-sided eagle on the one half of the door, and there's a big-ass X on the right side of it. I can't find, like, you guys will probably be able to find the picture again. I looked for it. I couldn't find it again, but it's there. I seen it. I just didn't take a snapshot. I was doing other things and I was kind of busy. But again, these keep showing up over and over and over again. All these symbols, and it's not a coincidence. There's probably more information in that Fugger in Germany, and there's a lot of interesting things that are going on in Germany that I think we all should need to pay attention to, because that's where obviously his family is from. There's a lot of connections there. But going to that, if we all want, or not all of us, but if one or two people went to the Fugger to investigate and look around, take pictures, went to the museums there, I guarantee there is a lot more there that I initially missed. You could bet your bottom dollar on that. There's probably areas of there to where they didn't take pictures at all. Maybe many clues. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you like it. I hope you share it. I hope you subscribe it. I'm going to go on and continue with making the Adam Beck reverse speech video. So thank you guys for watching again, and see you on the next one.